Hello everybody and welcome to Sports Vehicle Performance, and today we are in our Cayman SV project and I'm going to be showing you how to change your heater or temperature control switches in a 987-997. So this is a fairly simple and straightforward job. All it takes is a few items and tools and of course replacement switches that I've got here in this little bag. These are readily available, you can get them from a few places. I think I've even seen them on Amazon as well. Just different price ranges and probably different types of quality of switches, so completely up to you, but I'd probably say they're all going to be the same. They're all plastic and yeah, so readily available and fairly easy to get your hands on. We are changing these switches inside the car, as already mentioned. These are fairly common to go. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you know exactly what they're like. As a Porsche specialist, we see this all the time. And to be honest, it's in every single 997, 987 I think I've ever been in. I've always seen these switches go, and really common issue. For example, we even have one in at the workshop at the minute, sorry. A car with 20,000 miles, and even the switches on that are in poor condition. So it just goes to show that, you know, these go just basically for fun, really. So really common and a really simple solution to get them changed and really change the interior of your car. I'm going to be showing you how to do that with a little step-by-step guide. Fairly simple, even with basic mechanical knowledge. It's not that complicated, just a case of having access to the tools. So let's get on with it. Now, before we get started with anything, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the battery, just because we're working with electronics inside the vehicle and we don't want anything to short circuit or potentially arc out. So what you're going to do is remove your battery cover with these two plastic screws and pull them up. And then basically pull it out the way, and then in here you'll see your negative terminal. This is what you need to undo. It's just a 10mm on a spanner. I'm going to go ahead and do that now and unplug it, and then that way we won't have any sort of electrical issues with our system. Well, there we go. With the negative terminal now off, it now means we can go ahead and strip the panel. First step is to remove this carpet piece here, which is held in by a T30 Torque screw. With that done, we've now got to go ahead and remove this plastic trim here, and this is held in with two T20 Torque screws around the back. Well, just gone ahead and remove the screws from the side of the panels, as you can see on these, so that means we can go ahead and remove them. So sometimes you may need a plastic trim tool for this. This top corner likes to get stuck quite often. Both of these can get stuck, any of them, but I tend to find the top corner is the one that gets stuck the most. And when you're pulling them off, I recommend coming down here, and as you can see this back panel where the screws are basically screwed in, I like to pull here, pull it quite firmly, and it's pretty much goes straight away. As you can see, it's falling out here. And then sometimes these will basically fly off quite quickly, depending. That one wasn't actually too bad. But there we go, really simple to get out. Just be careful of these clips here. They are only plastic, as you can see. So just take your time, be careful, and try not to damage anything. And should just be, quite simply, the same for this side. Yeah, always pull the bottom, and then just slowly holding a bit of brace, not too much, but enough pressure. And there you go, off and out the way. Right, so now on to removing this unit here. It's a fairly simple job, really straightforward. Down the side of this panel here, I'm not sure if you can see, if I get a torch right, but from here there's this little push-in tab where my finger is. I'll try and show you with the camera quickly. Do you see it there? This is it. Get the torch on it. Right here, there's a little push-in tab. Now there's one of these both sides, and what you do, so I'll try and get the camera back in the right place, is you get your fingers like this. I'll try and put a torch so you can see what I'm doing. So what you do is push one in there, and as you go around the other side and slowly push up, and as you pull it, try and put your thumbs onto the main panel and basically pull up. It's much easier, and then there we go. Literally pops out just like that. Pull it up and then slowly pull it forward. You might have to put your gear selector, pull, and then there. You now have access to the back of your panels and to unplug it. Well, with the heater control panel out, we can go ahead and disconnect the two plugs on the back, the red one and then the black one. So as you can see, we've gotten the panel out of the car. Now into the slightly more complicated bit, we've got to go ahead and strip this panel. So there's four T6 Torque screws in the outside of these bits. They're covered up by these foam little bits here. These might not be on your car, but they might be. Just depends if someone's been in here before. But as you can see, there's one just there. It's a bit difficult to see, but there's 4 of these around the outside, and then this basically cover should pull away. There's a few other little bits, but we'll go over that when we get there. But the first thing to do is go ahead and take these 4 torque screws out. So we've gone ahead and removed this black plastic panel. As you can see, it pulls off fairly easily, but now we're into a slightly more complicated bit where you've got to be very careful not to damage this board. So if you can see here, there are 9 total torque screws. These are the same size. Again, a T6, if I can get it in. If my hand stops shaking. As you can see, there we go. So that one's in there. That's, again, T6, all these T6, you can see them all here. Just got to be very careful not to slip out, basically, and damage the board. So just take your time, make sure you get them all carefully. And again, just be very careful not to damage the board. You don't want to put this all back together and then realise your switches aren't working correctly or anything like that. You know, you go through all the hassle just for it to not work. So yeah, just take your time and be careful. So there we go, the board is now disconnected. You'll get this little rubber thing out as well. Just gotta make sure to pull that out of the way, sorry. And then you've got full access to the back of the switch panel. So basically next up is to, of course, remove these switches. And another thing to mention is always keep it like this way down. These switches can just fall out, so you don't want to be losing them and then put them in the wrong place. So yeah, always keep it like this, keep it safe and steady. But yeah, so to remove these, what I'm gonna be doing is I've got 2 picks here, I'm not sure if you can see them, so these 2. And basically what I'll do is I'll put these 2 ends into this little black section here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but basically where the clip is. I'm not sure if you can see that too well, but basically I'm pushing down here and that will loosen, pull away the black section from this little white clip here. If you do that both sides, pull away the black hook basically, and then the switches should basically fall out and make it a very simple job. And then quite simply, you will just basically be able to push the new ones back in and it will go back in. And also, silly as it may sound, make sure you put the right one in the right way, right side, sorry. You don't want to do that wrong. Get it back in, switches upside down or switches in the wrong one, you know. So just make sure, take your time again and make sure you get it right first time so you don't have to take it apart again. So yeah, I'll join you when they're done. So as you would have seen, or to be honest, probably not have seen, these can be quite fun to do. So basically when you're putting a pick down here and here, you do have to push like really, really hard. And sometimes you almost think they're not gonna go. But you just have to keep trying, keep persevering. And eventually, as long as these are definitely out of the way, you will go. You do definitely need like 2 small picks or 2 small screwdrivers, like a flat blade would probably do it as well. Plastic trim tools may, just something small enough to get down the little gap there. Not if you can see it, but just have a slight little gap, just pull it out of the way. And yeah, it should go. Also, again, as you may have seen when doing so, these little things fall out. These are very easy to refit. They just slide in into these little holes here. As you can see, there's the 1, there's 2, and there's 3 that have fallen out. I lost 3 in the process. Make sure they go back in, otherwise your switch controls won't work. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install the new ones quite simply. They just push back in, and it really is as simple as that. Well, there we go, just finished installing the new switches. As you can see, they look a lot better. Well, I would personally say so, especially compared to the old ones, which are over here. That's the old temperature switch, and it's almost like glue. You know, I can almost peel it off. So yeah, not very nice. So yeah, definitely needed. Just be careful with these. Again, you may have seen when I was doing it, this can quite easily pop out. So yeah, just make sure not to let that pop out because it's a bit difficult to put back together. And then also you've got I've already mentioned these little things here, which obviously is basically how the switch works inside the panel. But next up is to put this like silicone base back on. It's fairly simple. Just make sure you got it the right way around and drop it on. I actually believe I might have it the wrong way around, which I do. Might help if I have it the right way around. And then drop it on into these 4 little hooks here, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, and 4 over here. And then basically this almost helps the board sit nice and snug, so you don't basically over tighten it. And that is also, of course, going to be the next thing I'm going to say, is we're now going to go ahead and reinstall our board. Just basically make sure to not go very tight at all. If you do one of these up too tight, you could have obviously caused a crack in the board, and that could make it just obviously stop working. So again, just be careful with that. Literally just needs to be snug, not tight at all. Obviously tight enough, but just don't go over tight whatever you do. So you don't want to cause damage to this, and that's going to be an expensive job to get this changed. So yeah, very simply, just basically place this back on. You can see these little points here. These are basically the holes that has to line up. So there's 9 of them again. So you can basically look at the board and be like, okay, well, I know that these 3 are going to have to go with these 3 holes here. So yeah, really simple to do. So let's go ahead and refit it. Switch panels back together, I went ahead and just did it all. So the 4 screws and of course 9 screws on the board. I accidentally almost missed one off, but got it in the end. So just make sure you do all 9 up. Again, nice and snug, and quite simply, you should be left with a very nice panel ready to go back in with all your switches in, all your new lovely new looking switches ready to go back in. So again, basically same as removal. Let me spin you around like that. And basically, if I can get the camera to obviously stay nice and steady, get your 4 cables, as you can see, sorry, 2 cables, plugs in the back of here. So what you do is grab your first one, that'll go in here. Make sure you click in, and then the one lower down, click it in, and then basically, once those 2 are nice and snug, Lirum clip, you basically get these 2 side bits that we talked about earlier into these bits here. So make sure it's nice and in the right snug. Basically, there's a track here around these things here, and these areas have to slide in them. So I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but yeah, basically these 2 little fins, I should say, as you can see, basically line up with these 2 here. You'll see it if you've got it stripped. Basically push it down and it traces and follows itself down for you. And again, you heard it click, hopefully. And yeah, really is as simple as that. Check your switches are both operating nice and snug, which they are. Nice and operating nice, that's good. Perfect, what we want. Yeah, there we go. Now it's a case of putting on the side panels, and then of course putting on the carpets, and then reconnect the battery, and it really is as simple as that. Well, there we go. The panel is all back in, all the plastic trims on, all of this, all the Torx back in, and the carpet is also done. As you can see, all the switches are in and working as should. So we're now going to go ahead and put the ignition on. I have reconnected the battery, refit the earth. So as you can see, the panel's all still working, temp's working, just literally simple as that, all going up, down. And the fan speed, you can probably hear as well, as you see, is all working as should. Looks a lot better than the old switches, that's for sure. As I said, really simple upgrade, really simple to do. I'm going to spin you around, and yeah, so yeah, as you said, not too bad to do, pretty simple job, just a case of, you know, having the right tools really more than anything, I would say, especially the T6 Torx screwdriver. Not everyone might have that or in their set, and also a few picks and stuff, but there's definitely a few tools you can get away with using, like certain flat blades. I'm sure you can get those switches out. So yeah, really simple, really easy job to do. Highly recommended as well to almost all 987, 997 Porsche owners. As you can see, transforms it and simple. So yeah, but really hope you found this helpful. If you've got any questions, please comment below. If you're stuck anywhere, something going wrong, or not sure what to do next, please let us know. You know, we're always here to help. That's the purpose of us being here, especially on YouTube now. Really simple tutorials, hopefully coming out soon, more and more of these. If you guys have got any ideas, any switches, simple things you want doing, again, leave them in the comments below. But other than that, hopefully you've enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.